Feminism's great until you have to move a couch. A heterosexual man is expected to be masculine. 5, 6, 7, and out. They don't get that freedom to be gay. Hi, hello, and welcome. Welcome to another Marty's Minute MENitations. I'm Marty, and this is our space. This is our space to MENitate, to save the sacred masculine from our toxic modern world. Because the government and society want us to believe that masculinity is bad, that it's evil, toxic. But Marty believes that masculinity is beautiful, profound, and sacred. And he wants to save it from our toxic modern world. Masculinity is like a trophy that you have in the attic, right? You've forgotten about it for years. You finally go up and you're cleaning up that attic and you find that trophy. And it's all dusty and sticky, right? And you're like, how did it get this sticky? Was somebody put glue on this? Did somebody put gum on here? Right? Did they put tape on and take it off? You know how sometimes tape leaves that like adhesive, it's all sticky, right? But you take it downstairs, you dust it off, you clean it up, you give it a little polish, and then you put it up in the shelf in your mind so that when people come to visit the home in your mind, they see that trophy, right, of your masculinity and they go, wow, what a beautiful masculinity you have. And you go, thank you very much. Would you like some tea? To you new listeners, viewers, thank you for joining. Thank you for being brave and courageous and taking this step into the unknown. There's a whole crowd cheering for you right now. Marty could hear it. Can you hear them? Yay, right? It's applause of the crowd. Whoa, right? Whatever, they're calling your name, whatever your name might be, right? Robert, yay, woo. Or Rebecca, yay. Women can join in too, and non-gender conforming individuals. The sacred masculine is a part of all of us. So all of us need to take the steps towards saving it. So you're all welcome here to indulge in this experience, right? So thank you for joining. To you old listeners, thanks for coming back. Marty kept your seat warm. He kept it tidy. Marty always likes to keep this space tidy and cozy, right? He wouldn't want it to get too uncomfortable for people. Right? It's going to get a little bit uncomfortable, right? Maybe Marty will say some things that make you go, ooh, I don't know about that. But Marty means it in the most loving and respecting way, right? To ask the questions, to provoke questions, okay? So thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of this experience. Marty could feel your spirit and your energy here. And if you want to send more of your spirit and energy, hit that thumbs up button, right? To show Marty that you like his content. Hit the subscribe button so you know all the other stuff Marty's doing, right? He has his moments with Marty, his stop motion animation meditations. Yeah, it's kind of fun to say. Stop motion animation meditation. It's the shun part, right? Stop motion animation meditation. You could say it. It's fun to say. Stop motion animation meditation. Also, you can hit that notification bell so you know when Marty releases his stop motion animation meditation. If you want to know when Marty releases his stop motion animation meditation, hit the notification. Okay, Marty will stop. Marty's having too much fun. Also, if you want to send your gratitude, become a monthly donor on Patreon. If you don't like to make a commitment, Marty understands. That's why he has a PayPal account and a Buy Me a Coffee account, so you can make a one-time donation. Anything you give is greatly appreciated from Marty. So thank you. Now, with all that being said, let's begin this episode of Marty's Minute MENitations. Who are you? Are you yourself, or are you somebody else? Do you feel like you're free to be who you are, to take part in this beautiful ballet of being? Or do you feel like you're brain soiled into being somebody that you're not? Do you feel like society and the world have a grip over your heart, stopping it from beating the way that you truly beat? A lot of people feel that way, like they're not allowed to be who they truly are. Marty knows that there's a lot of men out there that feel that way, that feel restricted from being who they are because they don't fit the mold of a manly man. Men get belittled all the time for not being a manly man, for not fitting in with the expectations of masculinity. And that can manifest itself in all different kinds of ways, right? To be belittled for it. Sometimes it manifests itself into different behaviors, aggressions, looks, sounds. Sometimes it manifests itself into a word. And the word that Marty is thinking about is the F word. Not that F word. Not the bad F word. Well, this F word's bad too, right? But it's not the bad F word. It's not like the F word that everyone thinks about when they think the F word, right? It's not that bad F word that everyone's like, oh, the F word, right? But it's a bad F word. And I think you know what I'm talking about, right? It's not fuh. It's not fuh. It's fat. I don't even want to go that far. I don't even want to push it that far because I don't want to say too much of that word. But you know which word Marty is talking about, right? The individuals of the LGBTQIP2SAA community know that word all too well. It's been used for years to oppress and belittle them. And it's also been used to oppress heterosexual men. Marty, the oppression of the heterosexual man? Okay, now I've heard it all. What are you talking about, Marty? How can straight men be oppressed? Well, Marty's a straight man, and he's been oppressed. Marty feels that straight men get oppressed. And maybe some other men out there feel that way too. Oh, okay, Marty. How? Please enlighten me into how heterosexual men, you straight men, get oppressed in our society. Any man who steps outside of the masculine mold, tries to be themselves, to let their heart sing the way it wants to sing, will be belittled, pushed down, told they're not masculine enough, right? And men can be gay too. Men can be gay too. Marty's a heterosexual man, and he's a little bit gay. And before you go, Marty, that doesn't make any sense. A straight man can't be gay. Well, let me explain. The definition of gay is to be lighthearted and carefree. Ah, isn't that lovely? Lighthearted and carefree. Isn't that something we all want to be in life? Lighthearted and carefree. But men aren't allowed to be that. No. We have to be heavy-hearted and careful. We can't let our emotions out. We can't let our heart be light and free. It has to be heavy. We can't be carefree. We have to be careful. Because if we're not behaving the right way, we'll be told we're not a man. Women won't be attracted to us, and men won't respect us. And because of that, a man doesn't allow themselves to be free, to stop and smell the flowers, feel the breeze on their skin, love and appreciate their body. But that dreaded F word is out there, and everything that implies, to threaten men back into the mold. How, Marty? How does that word stop a man from truly being themselves? Well, maybe it's a beautiful day out, right? A beautiful, profound day, 60 degrees, right? It's that kind of weather that you don't even feel. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's just cloudy enough. The birds are singing, butterflies are flying, and you look outside and you go, oh my gosh, I'm going to go for a walk today. I'm going to go for a beautiful, wonderful walk. So you open up your wardrobe, you look at what you have, and this shirt starts calling out to you. It says, please pick me, put me on. Let me be a part of your energy today, a part of your truth, a part of your story. And you don't want to say no to that shirt, so you put that shirt on and you walk outside. And is this shirt masculine? Well, not by society standards. But Marty doesn't think that matters, right? You just want to wear the shirt that feels best on you, that makes you feel like your true self. So you put that shirt on, you go outside and you go for a walk. You're walking down the street. You feel like you're on top of the world. You feel free. You feel lighthearted and carefree. And you're approaching somebody and they give you a look. They give you a little glance like, right? Maybe it's a little, or maybe it's a, they're a little taken aback by it. They look at you and they kind of shake their head. They're kind of surprised to see you wearing that shirt, right? And it hits you like, ooh, am I doing something wrong? But you keep walking. You pass by them and you just keep going. You don't think about it. You remember it's a beautiful day. I'm wearing the shirt that I love. I'm a confident man and I love myself. And you keep walking and it's a beautiful walk. And then you pass by another person. And then they make a little sound like a or a huh or or ooh or what or 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 a or a or a psh. kind of sound that, that kind of sound that kind of belittles you. You're like, ooh, you know what I'm talking about. You know what Marty's talking about. Just some kind of sound that belittles you and makes you feel like you're lesser than, right? But you keep going, right? You keep going. You remember, I'm a beautiful, confident man, and I'm living my truth, and I'm being myself, right? And you just keep going, and you're walking, and you're approaching another person, and they start to look at you, and then as you're passing them, they say the F word. And it hurts. It hurts you. It stabs you in the heart. It twists, and it makes you feel like you can't be you. It feels hurtful because you're wearing this shirt. It's not this. Okay, it's this shirt, right? It's Marty's. This is based on a true story. This is the story of Marty in a shirt and what he experienced with this shirt on. And Marty doesn't think that it should be a problem to wear this shirt, right? Marty loves this shirt. And sure, maybe it's a woman's shirt, but what does that matter? Does that make me any less of a man to wear a woman's shirt if I am a man? But no, Marty has to be belittled for wearing it, for wearing what he loves to wear. And it hurts not because it has anything to do with being a homosexual, but because it's used to oppress and belittle men. That's what the F word is used for. It's like a weapon, a sword to keep men down, to keep them in line, to tell them that they don't meet up with the expectations of manhood. You're not a masculine man if you wear that shirt. I didn't know that putting on a shirt could stop you from being masculine. It's pretty crazy that just a shirt could do that. And Marty would love to be lighthearted and carefree. Marty would love to, run through the fields, through the posies and the roses and the sunflowers, wearing a skirt, right? Or a dress. And Marty wants to say, women get to wear pants and shorts and business suits and no one's the wiser. Like, it's not even a big deal. And maybe you're going, well, women had to fight a lot for that, right? Well, maybe us men need to fight for our right to wear dresses and skirts and for it not to be a big deal. Anytime a man wears a skirt or a dress, he's this big hero or he's an F word. Why can't we just be comfortable to wear a skirt in public and for it not to be a big deal? Right? Wouldn't that be lovely? That would be a really beautiful world, right? Where Marty could walk down the street and go, "Hi, Bob. I love that pastel pattern you've got there." Or, "Hey, Gary, those are some great stripes on that sundress." Wouldn't that be lovely? To feel free to just communicate with other men and really engage in other styles. And men should feel so free to be lighthearted and carefree, to be gay. Right? What are the things that Marty likes to do that would be considered gay? Well, he likes to take a hot Epsom salt bath, to light some candles, light some incense, maybe even put on the new Fiona Apple album, right? Allow Fiona Apple to play with Marty's heartstrings, to just open himself up to what Fiona's going through, right? She just has so many emotions and feelings that Marty can connect to, and he just wants to let Fiona Apple into his heart, to communicate and to share that moment with her, because she gives so much of herself in her work, and she really just puts it all out there and allows us to be free to feel and to experience what she's experiencing, right? And why would you waste that? Why would you allow some F word to stop you from doing that, right? Because it's so beautiful and profound. Maybe Marty wants to be able to indulge in that. And I'm sure there's some men out there going, "Oh, wow, Marty, that's pretty F-wordy. You're a real F-word." And Marty wants to check that, okay? Because maybe us men should be spending our time lifting each other up for who we truly are instead of putting each other down. Then maybe masculinity would have more of a rainbow of an experience, right? It'd be more diverse. It'd be more interesting. Sometimes Marty likes to use a little facial scrub. He likes to exfoliate. He likes to get into those pores. He likes to put on some lotion. And sure, maybe it's a woman's lotion, right? A lavender chamomile lotion or something like that. But they don't make lotion for men that takes care of sensitive skin, because men aren't allowed to have sensitive skin. And maybe, they try to put it out, but it's never that great, right? It doesn't really take care of Marty's skin. He has a very specific skin profile, okay? He has eczema and he has to deal with that, right? He has to deal with it in the appropriate way. There's all these perfumes out there that are really bad for the skin. Or Marty, sometimes if he can't fall asleep, he likes to rub himself up against his mattress like a cat or a dog would, like nuzzle into the cushions, nuzzle into his pillow and feel all sensual, right? Have a little bit of sensual play. Men aren't allowed to have sensual play. If they do, they're F words. No, the only way men are allowed to play is if they play sports, right? Hard, violent sports. Hockey, where they slam each other into walls. Football, where they tackle each other. Wrestling, where they throw each other to the ground. That's scary. That's violent. Marty tried to play basketball one time. He wanted to go to school and be a part of the basketball team to find a community. So he showed up to a basketball practice. The very first practice, he got a ball in the face. And he thought he broke his nose. His nose started bleeding and he started freaking out. And tears came to Marty's eyes. And everybody there called him the F word. And maybe Marty could have been something. Marty could have been a superstar. But everyone on that basketball field had to call Marty an F word. And F words aren't allowed to play sports. Marty, no, you carry with yourself a level of masculinity. You seem like a man, right? I mean, how would anyone, call you the F word? But they do. And how is Marty supposed to have this beautiful relationship with a wonderful goddess if all the women out there think he's a homosexual, right? What if Marty's at a bar or a coffee shop? Even though Marty doesn't frequent bars because he doesn't drink, anymore. And he's at that bar or that coffee shop and this beautiful goddess walks in. And we lock eyes and I look into her eyes and she looks into mine. And we acknowledge each other and there's that excitement, right? There's that electricity, right? Now I could see her looking at me and being like, oh my gosh, that man looks really interesting. He looks really handsome. And she turns to her friend, who also is friends with Marty. Like, she knows Marty because Marty frequents that bar or coffee shop because he just likes to be around people, right? And the friend goes, oh yeah, that's Marty, but, he's a homosexual. Well, why are you going to assume that? Just because I do certain things, right, that aren't masculine things? But she tells his friend who would have an interest in Marty, and Marty doesn't even know this, and he approaches this woman at some point in the night and strikes up a lovely conversation. And her guard is down because she thinks Marty's a homosexual, so we have this great time. We have a lovely conversation. She's not threatened by my heterosexuality, and Marty goes, hey, maybe you'd like to take part in a yoga class or a pottery making class or a candle making class down the street. And, she gives Marty her number, and Marty thinks he's got it made. Marty thinks he's about to engage in this lovely relationship. They go to the candle making class. It's a lovely time, right? They make these lovely candles with their own names in it. And then they go to get tea afterwards. They're talking, and, it's just so fun and lovely. And Marty reaches his hand out and grabs her hand, and she pulls away. She's confused. She goes, what are you doing? And Marty just says, I'm reaching out. I was having a great time. I thought I would connect to you physically, right? And she says, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were a homosexual. And I go, no. I'm a heterosexual man. I was really attracted to you. I thought that this was a date. She goes, no. I thought we were just having a good time, right? I thought you were homosexual and we were just becoming friends. But I guess you're just a big old C word. And now Marty's a C word because she thought he was a homosexual, and Marty never said that, but now Marty's a C word, right? And that means creep, right? But I say C word because it kind of matches the milieu of this episode. So now she's all freaked out, and Marty ruined his chances with a goddess. Marty is a heterosexual man who wants the presence of a woman. He wants to fall in love with a woman. He wants to meet his goddess. But that's how women are brain soiled in our society, right? To expect certain things from men, to expect men to be a certain way, to match up with masculinity. And men can't be themselves on either side, right? The conservatives want men to be masculine, really masculine, to fit that ideal, whereas the liberals want them to be more feminine. And any kind of masculinity that a man has is a threat. And yet at the same time, liberals don't want men to not be masculine. They want masculine men, but they don't want them to be masculine. It's very confusing. And some of you may be going, Marty, why are we even talking about this stuff? We don't even think that this is a big deal. In fact, we're offended that you're talking about this stuff. Well, Marty is just speaking his truth, right? This is what Marty's experience is. And if Marty speaks his truth, if Marty reaches his truth hand out, and somebody else hears Marty's truth and they go, oh my gosh, that's my truth too. They can reach their truth hand out, and we can clasp hands and walk down this path together. And isn't that what we should be expecting in this world right now? To be able to listen to and acknowledge each other's truth and to come together, to take this journey in our world together, to make it a better place. And if Marty's going to speak his truth, right, he has to be honest. He's a little bit jealous of homosexual men. Oh, what are you jealous of, Marty? the oppression, the discrimination. Oh, maybe it's the struggle that the gay community has had to go through. Well, if going through that path of discrimination, oppression, leads to you being who you truly are, then Marty believes that it's something to be envied. You see, homosexual men almost get a license to not have to be masculine. That's not to say that homosexuals can't be masculine. Marty knows a lot of homosexual men that are very masculine, beautiful, handsome, strong, confident homosexual men that are far more masculine than Marty would be considered, right? But he's saying that they don't have to be that. They're free to be who they are without restriction. A heterosexual man is expected to be masculine. They don't get that license to be lighthearted and carefree. They don't get that freedom to be gay. Now, maybe you're going, wow, Marty, you've really opened my eyes. I understand now. I'm on board with you. We need to stop these, men from using the F word. These conservative, manly men, the men with the hard hats and the goggles, and they're working on the railroad, right? And they're dusty and burly and manly and gruff and mean. And, well, Marty wants to point out that it's not just those individuals that use the F word against heterosexual men. No, women, liberal women, allies of the LGBTQIP2SAA community use that word against men as well, or infer that to heterosexual men. They don't even have to say the word in order to make a man feel lesser than. They just have to imply that thing. Feminism's great until you have to move a couch. Even if you're a woman with 10 PhDs, right? You're a strong, confident woman. You've built your own life and you're brave and courageous. Until you need a couch moved. And then you call up a man. And maybe that man doesn't want to move that couch that day. Maybe they're taking care of themselves. Maybe they're taking a me day. Maybe they're having a Marty day, drawing a bath, stretching, listening to some Fiona Apple again, lighting some incense. And then that woman calls that man an F word because they're not going to, do what is expected of them. And Marty believes that that's pretty misogynistic, to expect a man to do the physical labor, to just want a man for their body. But Marty's a feminist. He believes that a woman is capable of moving a couch, right? You can call up your friend and you two can be two strong women and move that couch on your own. Marty has faith in you. He believes in you. But no, Marty's just a big ol' F word. And Marty wants that goddess in his life. Marty wants that goddess in his life. He wants a goddess to walk into the room in his mind and see that trophy on the shelf and go, oh my gosh, what a beautiful masculinity you have. And Marty gives that woman some tea. They start drinking tea. And he reaches his hand out and grabs her hand. And she doesn't pull away. Wouldn't that be a beautiful world for us to live in? But no. Instead, Marty's cousin has to approach Marty and go, oh my gosh, I have the perfect person for you. Let me put you on a blind date with this person. And you're like, yeah, you're very excited. And you go on this blind date and you meet this man whose name is Brandon, and he's a lovely man. He's a beautiful, lovely man. He's a lovely spirit, right? But that's not necessarily what you're interested in. But your cousin still doesn't think that you're a heterosexual man. He hasn't come out as straight yet, right? And, Marty had to come out as straight. He had to come out in front of his family at his father's retirement BBQ, right? And he had to come out as straight because his family thought he was a homosexual, and they were so supportive. They loved Marty, right? For years, they thought Marty was a homosexual. Marty's father was so proud of him. He would even look at him and go, I'm so proud of you, Martin, for being who you are. And Marty felt supported. Marty felt great. He almost wishes he was a homosexual because he felt safe and supported in that space. But that's not who Marty was. Marty was not a homosexual man. He was a heterosexual man, but he goes out with Brandon and he felt like he could open up to Brandon. He felt like he could be honest, right? It was a lovely time I had with Brandon. Marty felt like he could really be a friend. And that's what's lovely. A homosexual man can open up a space for a heterosexual man. They understand what it's like to be a man. And Marty doesn't want to put too much emotional labor on Brandon because he understands what that can be. But wow, Brandon really opens up the space. He has a great time. Marty sees himself being able to have a friendship with Brandon, right? He's so happy that he went on this blind date because he was able to meet this guy and open up and be connected, right? And what a lovely, male relationship to have. But then at the end of the night, we're walking home, we're finishing up, and Marty walks Brandon to his apartment, and there's that kind of weird expectation. There's that weird moment where, something's expected to happen, but, Marty can't do that because that's not who Marty is. But Marty really appreciates what Brandon did for him, so he wants to give Brandon something, but he doesn't want to compromise who he is, right? Marty still has to be himself, but Marty wants to give Brandon, his thanks and his appreciation, but he can't. In order to do that, he can't be somebody he's not. So he has to be who he is, and to give Brandon who he is, but not be who he's not. So then, the end of the night is strange, and Marty has to be honest, and it's everybody is sad and angry and confused. So at Marty's father's retirement barbecue, Marty had to be honest with himself, and he had to muster up the courage, and he had to stand up while everyone was eating and say, "Family, my name is Marty. I am a straight man. I love women. I want to be intimate with women. I enjoy being intimate with women, and I just want you to know that I'm a straight man." And Marty heard forks drop on plates. His mother started to weep and ran into the house. And his father just was so angry with him and upset. And he went up to Marty and he said, "I am so disappointed at you, I can't even look at your face." And he ran into the house after my mother to comfort her, and things haven't been the same since. So, for this MENitation, I want to open up the space for you heterosexual men that feel like you don't fit the masculine mold, that feel like you're not allowed to be you, that feel like you need to come out as a straight man, as a man. So let's take a breath in and out, and in and out. Close your eyes, as long as you aren't driving or operating any heavy machinery. Breathe in and out. Maybe let out a hum. And as you're going through this MENitation, and Marty takes you on this breathing exercise, allow yourself to breathe and accept the questions and ideas that Marty starts to talk about. Take a breath in and out. And as you take this next breath in, just do it on a count of 3, right? So you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3, and again, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. Let there be a little pause after that exhale. Breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, and as you're breathing, listen to Marty as he affirms you as a man, so that you can have the confidence to come out as a straight man.
4, 5.
You
Try 6.
are a man.
1.
You are a man.
4.
Maybe you have a high voice.
1.
Maybe
2.
you take baths.
3.
Maybe you care about your appearance.
6.
Accept
Allow the
yourself.
breath to come in. Don't force it. Just let it come in at that time. Try 7.
Maybe
In.
you like to indulge in your emotions.
3.
Are a man. Maybe you like to cry.
5. 6.
Maybe sometimes you feel scared.
And
Love yourself. Maybe sometimes you fall in love. Accept yourself.
4. 5.
Be
6.
yourself. You are a man. Love
In.
yourself.
1. 2.
Accept yourself. You
4.
are a man.
Yourself. 6.
As you breathe in, let that settle into you. Allow that truth to enter in you. You are a man.
5.
Be
6.
yourself.
7.
You
8.
are a man. You
All to settle in.
are a man. You are brave. No matter what you do,
Try 9. In.
don't worry about whether or not you're manly enough. You are brave, strong enough. If you remember, you
7.
are a sacred masculine within you,
9.
the part of you that says to be brave and courageous.
3.
You are a man.
5.
Accept
6.
Feel that inside you. That truth.
Try 10.
And be brave and courageous enough
3.
to come out and courageous. Say it in your mind as you breathe.
7.
I am a straight man, and I love myself.
Love
yourself. The world may not think it.
2.
People may call me an F word, but I am a man, and I will not be belittled. I love myself. I trust myself. I am a man. Breathe in. Take a breath out. And in. And out. Feel yourself in this space. Allow yourself to just let that go. To be here, present with yourself. You are a man no matter what. We may not be able to change the world, but we can change ourselves. And we can change our own fears about something like the F word. After all, when people thought Marty was a homosexual, they didn't dare call him an F word. It wasn't until Marty came out as straight that it became open season on the F word. Maybe we need to stop judging people for whether or not they're LGBTQ and start considering whether they're HUMAN. Because 100% of the time, that's what they are. Thank you for joining me for this MENitation today. It really fills Marty's heart and spirit. And if you enjoyed this time, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, like my video, subscribe, hit the notification for the stop motion animation meditations. If you want to send your gratitude, become a monthly donor on Patreon or a one-time donor on Marty's PayPal account or Buy Me a Coffee account. Whatever you give is greatly appreciated. Marty wants to send his love and gratitude. And until next time, I'll be here, waiting, ready to meditate.